Ya Allah, Ya Allah, si sebenzaku Ya Allah, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, La ilaha illallah.
But because they're only going to accept it in Arabic from Quran or from the Hadith, and I can't do that. I'm 4 days old in Islam. I have no clue a ba from a ta. But I knew it was wrong. I took the Imam aside. And I told him, I'm old enough to be your father. And what I see you guys are doing in your mosque, you're going to destroy this thing. This is bad. And it's not right. And if you want to bring, because you're telling me you want to bring other people in, suppose I go back to my church and invite everybody to come in. And I wanted to do that. I said, but I'm not going to do it like this. You guys are fighting. That same day, I told you about the first part. I wasn't going to tell you all, but I got to get this point across. Years that I've been around gatherings of faith groups, and everything, never imagined I would hear anybody say that. In the back of the room, standing right against the wall, from here to that wall right there, the brother stood up. He had a portable amplifier and a microphone. Wallahi, I'm not lying. And I'm thinking this guy was prepared. What's going on with that? I know there was right fast. We used to sell them in our store. And my little was, what is this guy doing? Battery operator down, got a mic. He said, these are the people who are the take our boxes down, so I'll take them all and get up my feet and take them all. Oh, you're good. Oh, yeah. I looked over at the priest and he's looking at me and I'm going, ooh. He said, well, what do you think? I said, I think we're in the right place. He said, why did you say that? I said, because I think the shaitan just came to both of these guys to put this show on to scare us away. Because if we stay in Islam, shaitan knows we're going to bring a lot of people. And wallah, that's exactly what happened. So many people come to Islam because I know my people. I know what to talk to them about. I know what to stay away from. I tell them, it's real simple. You believe la ilaha illallah, they're going to go, what? But if you tell them, you believe in God, you want to do what God wants you to do, yes or no? Okay, well then we got a platform to begin with. We'll start with that. So many people have been able to, just from a few words, get the picture of Islam. Alhamdulillah. That's from Allah, but not from me. But look at this. I told the priest, I'll bet you that these guys never did that before, and I bet they never do it again. In fact, before the next week, both of them went to the other and said, I'm sorry, that was very wrong, that's not Islam, we apologize, this is not the way to do business, blah, blah, blah. And then they never did do it again. In fact, they became pretty good friends. They're both Arabs. It's not like it was a different cultural, different. No, they were very close to each other. It's just how shaitan comes to us. The subject that we're talking about is when you blindly follow something, so much so that you can't think straight anymore. That's exactly what's wrong with Iblis. Does Iblis know that Allah exists, yes or no?
Yes.
Does he deny Allah exists? Never. In fact, does he deny that Allah is the greatest? No. Did he used to worship Allah? Yeah. What's the problem then? What makes him what he is? Allah told you in the Quran very clear. What is the word in Arabic? Kibr. Kibr means what in English, more or less? Arrogance. Arrogance, not pride. Arrogance. Pride, you can be proud. I'm proud. I got this the day I left. This came from a dear sweet sheikh in UAE. Sent this to me. Alhamdulillah. I get my care packages all the way from UAE. Anyway. Not joking. So I'm proud of that. But when somebody is arrogant, that's a problem. And this is kibr is arrogance. And that's when, excuse me, what are you doing on stage with me? Did you buy a ticket for? That's arrogance. You can stay free, yes. Arrogance. You know, when you condescend and look down on people like, hey, when you do that, that's arrogance. And that's the real problem with Iblis, isn't it? He refuses to bow down. That's why. He said, I'm better than Adam. So, if we're going to bust this thing, if we're going to ever break through it, that's what we're going to all have to deal with. You're going to have to take your own arrogance aside and throw it out the window. You're going to have to realize there's only one Islam, there's only one kind of Muslim. Just like there's only one Allah. And if we can't do that, then we're really falling into the same trap with Iblis. Many of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you think you have a pretty good idea what I'm talking about. But if I laid you down and start naming groups, you're going to say, oh, you're in that group then. I remember that I was showing somebody something one time, and somebody passed by and was listening to me telling a new person about Islam. I was saying, when you do this, you do something. You do what? I said, you know, you go, you put your hands there. Oh, you're a Wahhabi. Just like that. I said, a what? How did you get this name for me? Yeah, who's we? There's one guy standing there. Maybe he had a mouse in his pocket. He said, we put our hands here when we do salah. I said, okay. Have you seen these problems? Yes. So, that's what they meant when they said, when we see you do salah, we'll be able to tell what kind of Muslim you are. We're going to watch. Yeah? When he comes through the door, from the brand new guy coming into the masjid, he's coming in the door, get ready. All right, I'm ready. Came in on the left foot, start for alarm. He's walking towards the 10 bar. Oh, he stopped, he's turning over to the wudu area. Okay. Water goes from this way, not this way. Jeffrey Pick. Yep. Just wiped over his socks. He better be a traveler. What is it with people? And then, when he gets up to, he's going to Tayyat al-Masjid, greeting to the Masjid. Allah. Look where it hit his He didn't thumb his ears. That's Canton song just for that alone. Is it? We're writing the guy up. How long are his pants? Oh, brother. You get that? You see his miswipe? No, I didn't see it. He didn't have one. How long is his beard? That ain't a beard. That's an overnight growth. I think this is sufficient right here. I think we can write him up. That's it. You ain't the most... Here, get out. And that's before we even look at what he does with his finger during the day. You know the sad part about it? You know what makes it not funny? It's true. It's true. And I've watched brothers come up to other brothers and start right away. You know, happened to me. I'd already been the imam of our masjid for 4 years. And I like to go over and visit the masjid that we helped build. I love the brothers over there, but I can't stand to be with them, but I still love them. But I stopped by over there one day, we had a jama'ah with me, some brothers, and we stopped, we were going to do salah and go back. Went in through the door, there's a brand new brother there. I said, Assalamu alaikum. Okay. What's your name, brother? He told us his name, whatever it was. I said, okay. He said, where are you from? West Virginia or Virginia somewhere. I said, okay. So, how long have you been Muslim? I said, long enough, brother. I said, okay. 6 months. Okay. He said, what kind of Muslim are you? I said, what are you asking me this question? We came in here to pray. He said, no, brother, you have to be in a particular method. You have to. I said, really, what's a method? He said, you know. I said, no, help me out. What is it? He said, well, you have to be in one. I said, well, what is it? What does it mean in English? You know what it means in English? You just have to be in one. There's 4, and you have to choose one. So, which one's the best one? That's the one I want. He named a particular one. I said, and that's what you're in. He said, yeah. I said, coincidentally, it's the best one. I said, are you sure about this? He said, yeah. I said, how do you know? He said, everybody knows it. Is that a rational argument? Is it a rational argument? Everybody knows it. Yeah, that's it. If everybody in the earth, the majority, let's just go with the majority. The majority of the people on the earth all agree on something. Does that make it right?
Nope. Yes.
How many say yes? You voted for Bush? I know how to handle the hecklers. Don't take my word for it. Let's see what Allah said about it, okay? Majority of human beings are going that way. Which way do you want to go?
But Allah.
Majority are going that way. Which way do you want to go? Any way but that way. Any way but that way. Why? This is in Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر. Stop. We won't go to the exception. Allah said, and He's swearing, and when Allah swears, it's not a joke. He's swearing about something we don't even understand, the time extension, the time compendium. We have no clue what is time. And Allah is swearing by us that inna, which is certainly all of the human beings are in khusr, bankruptcy, on the day of Yom Hisab and can't pay up. That means they're going to hell. All the human beings are going to hell, illa, except, and except means here less than the majority. Illa ladina amanu, come to the right belief, wa amilu salihat, and do the deeds of the righteous people. Wa tawasaw bil haqq, wa tawasaw bis sabr. And they have to encourage and exhort each other in all the haqq la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, and to encourage and exhort each other to be steadfast and persevering. You thought it was going to say patience, didn't you? But that's in there too. So, what I'm trying to get across now is that if you see the majority of people doing anything, be careful of it. Now, on the other side of the coin though, if it's Muslims, there is this. Within the Muslim Ummah, the Prophet ﷺ told us in a good hadith, verified hadith, that even until the last day, the vast majority of the Ummah will not agree together upon what is misguidance. So that's good news. So whenever I can't decide if a sheikh is really honored or not, then I look to what the general population of Muslims are agreeing upon, not disagreeing upon, but what they agree upon, and I find that all the Muslims that I've talked to, vast majority, have agreed that the thing we are is Muslims. We are Muslims first. Therefore, I don't feel uncomfortable saying I'm a Muslim. Muslim, that's it. And they say, well, you have to be more, okay, I'll be a Muslim. You want more? You know where I'll go with that. When I came back from Mexico a few years back, when I got off the airplane, I didn't have to wait to get into customs before I got my special treatment. They were waiting for me at the door. And they were going like that. And I go, you want me? Kindly old man, what do you want with me? I knew, you know, they took me aside and they started in the question, la, 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 where did you go, where did you see, la, la, la. And then even, did you see any terrorists and did you talk about? Yeah, sure. Then it came to the end of the thing and said, oh, one more question, what kind of Muslim are you? I remember when I got in Islam, I heard that one. Here we go. But I got this quirk inside me. I cannot just roll over and go, I'm this or I'm that. I can't do that. So I said, fat. He said, what? I said, I'm a fat Muslim. I'm trying to lose weight. I did it. Oh, yeah. But I did it with straight face. And he's like, no. Sorry, I said, I'm asking you, what type of Muslim? I said, oh. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. B positive. Blood type, you meant, no? That's bad. No, that's not right. So, he said, sir, are you a Shiite? Are you a Sunni? Are you Salafi? Are you Wahhabi? Are you? And they got the list. Now, I know that list because some of us that work in the government, we helped put it together. We know all about the list. He even had it in the right order. He's calling them out and going along. I'm going, no, I don't think so. No. Oh, what's that? Can I see that? That's no Hebrewish Muslim. That's interesting. Oh. You need halal or kosher, either way. I'm not joking. Hebrewish Muslim is on their list. 5%ers. Did you hear about 5%? How many of you heard of 5%ers? 5%ers. What about the other 95%? Woo! When he got all done, I said, no. I wanted to go, but I couldn't give in. My pride, I guess. I couldn't do it. I said, I guess I'm a Christian Muslim. Again, I'm not laughing. I'm just like, I said, what? I said, wasn't that Hebrewish Muslim? He said, I don't have that on me. I said, well, I was a Christian and I became a Muslim. He said, okay. You can go. I was Houston, Texas. I hadn't been back through there again and no intention of going back. I got people that be waiting for me down there. Especially after they hear the recordings of this stuff, Oh, they don't have to wait for the recordings. I forgot they got their direct pipe in right from... Oh. How's it going? Yeah. Taqleed is bad. Because it'll take you out of Islam. It's not just that you're going to hurt your relationship with each other and you're hurting your families and you're hurting your ummah. You're hurting your chances at even getting into Jannah. And to follow a madhab without knowing why you're doing it is not good. You need to find out what it is you're doing and why. Anybody here know something about something called Hanafi? If you do, raise your hand. If you know something about it, raise your hand. Okay. Does anybody here think they're Hanafi? Raise your hand. Is your name Hanif? Is it? No. Do you think your name is Hanif? No. Okay. There's somebody who used to live about 1,200 years ago. His name was Abu Hanifa. Did you hear about him? Yes. Yeah. If you're not a descendant from him, I guess you're not really a Hanafi. I don't think so. Do you know what he said? It's on one of my websites. It's very clear, his statement. It translates to English. And by the way, he learned Arabic. All of the Muslims at that time learned the Arabic language. I'm back on my original kick, you know. Learn Arabic. Even if you can't pronounce it right, I don't. But you try. He said, I forbid anybody to take what I'm teaching unless you know where I got it from. He let himself off the hook. He said, I forbid anybody to take what I'm teaching unless you know from where it came, where I got it from. So don't say, I pray like this because I'm Hanafi, because on the day of judgment, I guarantee he's not going to be with you. He's not going to be making intercession for anybody. It's Prophet ﷺ that will be doing that, and he's not going to be siding up with one madhab over another. We also have quotes from Imam Malik, from Imam Shafi, and Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. And all of them essentially boil down to this. I'm going to have to shorten part of the talk and just tell you that they said the same thing. If what I'm teaching, if I say anything that I say is not in line with Quran and Sunnah, take what I said and throw it away. That's what they said. Most of us on the planet today that are Muslim don't know. We do not know what they even said. We're just taking stuff out of books.
The mic. You could read the questions.
Somewhere in your class. There it is. We have a beautiful Deen. We have something that was perfected by Allah. And if anybody wants other than what He sent down in Revelation, which is the Quran and His Prophet, He says, وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا فَلَا يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. This is very clear. This is verse number 85 in surah number 3 in Al Imran. Allah says, I'm going to give you a full translation, inshallah, so that we don't leave it. He said, if anybody wants a way of life, Deen, way of life, other than the way that He has ordained for us to follow, then He's not going to accept it. In the next life, they're going to be with the losers. That includes anybody. That is not just saying religion, because it includes the so-called Muslims. It means you cannot, if you translate the word Deen correctly, it means you cannot get away with the idea that, hey, I'm a Muslim. I said La ilaha illallah. If I don't do salah, so what? You can't get away with it, because you understand now you have to do the Deen, and the Deen includes 6 things you believe, 5 things you have to put into practice minimum. If you don't have that, you can't claim to be a Muslim. 6. Allah, He's one, unique, not like His creation, not in the creation. The creation is not Him, He's not the creation. He's always in control, never been out of control. Allah is not having problems. We're the ones that have the problems. 2, you have to believe in Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and by believing in Him, you automatically have to believe in all the other prophets, including that Jesus is the Messiah, the miracle birth, and coming back in the last day. 3, you have to believe in all the books of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. All of them. It means, even though we don't have them anymore, you believe that they originally came from Allah. And then 4, you have to believe in the Malaika. The Malaika are absolutely perfect in everything they do because they don't have any free choice. They are doing Allah's commands, and the devil is not a fallen angel. He's from the jinn. He always had free choice. That's how he got in trouble. Same way we get in trouble. The day of judgment, you're going to come back with a body. There's some group of Muslims, even here in Chicago, they're saying, no, that's not true. That's against Islam. We will be resurrected with a physical body. And it will be naked, because the Prophet ﷺ said that's going to be the condition. And his wife asked him, she said, what will people be looking at us? He said, everybody's going to be so concerned about themselves that day, they're not even going to know about anybody else. We're all going to be saying, nafsi, nafsi, nafsi. Myself, 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 what's going to happen to me today? That's the reality of the Yom Kippur. There is a judgment day. You have to believe in that. And ipso facto, you also are going to believe in the Jannah, the paradise, and the hellfire. And finally, to believe in the predestination of Allah, that it's all going to happen according to His time. If you don't believe that, don't worry. You're not there yet. You're working on it. I hope you make it. But those are the conditions set forth by Prophet ﷺ. He said that this was not optional. And this was the famous hadith of Jibreel. And most of you know what I'm talking about. He came to teach you your religion, or your Deen, actually. The 5 actions to make public declaration and statement of what you believe. If you're too ashamed of it, then Allah doesn't need you. If you can't stand up and say, I believe there's only one God, and He's the only one that I need to worship, and I need to do what He wants to do, and I want to keep His commandments. If you can't do that, then Allah doesn't need you. Second one is, establish the salah, the regular worship that Allah has prescribed for all of His prophets, and now it's for all of the Muslims as well. Third is to establish the Psalm Ramadan, fasting in the month of Ramadan. When it comes, you fast. And then, to pay the zakah, which is not an income tax. It's only a wealth, it's a wealth purification. Don't even think of it like a tax, because it's something very nice. Cleans your wealth up. 2.5% of your holdings that you didn't touch for a year, then give it to the poor. And then finally, to make the Hajj or the pilgrimage once in the life when Allah makes a way for you to go and it's safe. That is Islam. If anybody denies any part of that, they got a problem. I'm going to end now by telling you something. Because I know most of what I said tonight, you're going to remember it tomorrow. You won't. People always do that. Even if they think, no, I'll remember all this. Okay, sure you will. Tomorrow somebody asks you, hey, where'd you go last night? Oh, went over that masjid so-and-so over there. Oh, okay. And what happened? Oh, that funny guy over there. What'd he say? He said, I don't know, it's pretty funny though. So, I want to tell you about this. Now you're going to decide you want to go out and call the people to Islam. How many of you here, you really would like now to go help people get into this beautiful Deen? You want to do it? You want to do it? Okay. So you're going to get a card, and you're going to write down some notes tonight. I got all the secrets. Yusuf Estes told me everything. I'm going to go give dawah. So you go to work, you get into work. Imagine this happened maybe to some brother. He goes in, and he's got some pamphlets in his pocket now, and he's decided, I'm going to do dawah. Start to talk to somebody at work. I want to tell you about the Lord. I want to tell you about Allah. Well, these are Christians. They've heard all this stuff before. You know, okay, you're going to give me some of your dawah. Okay, go for it. Well, you know, there's only one God. You know, Christians already say that they believe that. How they believe it's strange, but so. Yeah, and Muhammad's his prophet. Okay. And I have a pen. Okay. What's this number 2 point you got right here? What is it? What is salad? 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 No, salat. Or whatever. What does it mean? Well, this is a ritual that we Muslims pray 5 times a day. And how does it work? Where you stand and you just what time? Well, you know, around noon and around. You've been working here 7 years. We never said good. Well, I'm a Muslim, but I don't do salah. What's the second one? Zakat. Well, it's zakat. Whatever. So said you pay 250%. No, it's 2.5% of the wealth of it. So do you do that? Oh, it's too hard to figure out the fractions of that. It's never had time. I'm a Muslim, but I didn't ever pay the cow. Okay. What's Ramadan? No, it's Ramadan. That's the month where we are fasting and really? Well, didn't I hear on the radio today you guys are just starting Ramadan? Yeah, today's Ramadan, that's right, yeah. So what's that Pepsi in your hand? Well, I'm a Muslim, but I don't fast. And Hajj, what's Hajj? No, that's Hajj. Whatever. It says here you have to go once in your life to Mecca. You ever go? Well, see, it costs a lot of money to go, and you have to take off from work, and it's a very, it's a big thing for somebody to do that, Well, last year you took off a whole month, and you went down to Epcot Center in Disney World. What was you doing? Toe off around Mickey Mouse? Well, I'm a Muslim, but it says here Muslim men are supposed to grow a beard. What happened to yours? I'm a Muslim, but it says here the Muslim women are supposed to wear this covering over called a hijab. Hijab, whatever. We saw your wife at the Christmas party last year, and she sure wasn't wearing no hijab. Well, I'm a Muslim, but... Oh, we get it. You're a Muslim bud. Good. Hope you get a backbone and a neck and a head, a couple arms and legs, and be a whole Muslim instead of just a bud.
Very powerful.
Anyhow, I stepped on enough toes for one night, so I'm going to go ahead and jump on the next subject. The only reason I really came over here to Chicago anyway is because I wanted to see if anybody would like to be a Muslim. Because you guys, you're already Muslim buds. Sorry. Sorry. Slip. Sometimes you say what you're thinking, Anyhow, or something like that. And I got this one thing up here. It kind of got my attention a while ago. Put my glasses back on. How many people here are Muslims? Raise your hand. No, I'm not going to ask more than that. That's it. How many are not Muslim? Yet. You enjoying yourself tonight? Having a good time? Yeah. Did you laugh at all my jokes? Yeah, boy. Who's the other one? Oh, okay. What's your name?
Carlos.
Carlos, ¿cómo estás? Alhamdulillah. You didn't know I knew so much Spanish. Anyway, I got this one. It says, I'm thinking about converting to Islam and I need advice. I think it came from the sister's side. Is that right? Is that where this came from? Somebody? Don't be shy. Sent the paper up here. If anybody wants to convert to Islam, I will tell you that some parts of it are really easy and some parts of it are really hard. Which do you want first, the good news or the bad news? Good news? Well, the good news is you already were a Muslim. Everybody was already a Muslim when they were born, because Islam has some very lovely teaching. Every single human being, when they start out, start with a clean slate, and they're already in a beautiful shape with Allah. All human beings, when they're born, regardless of the beliefs or disbeliefs of their parents, Allah accepts them because He knows what His religion really is. And he accepts all babies, all children. If they die, they immediately go to paradise. Regardless of what we say or do, it doesn't matter. Those babies are okay. Every single baby. Nice teaching, huh? Those are some good news. Bad news is that the Prophet ﷺ told us that the children start out in the right way, but then their parents will raise them to become Jews, Christians, fire worshippers, or whatever else. The parents will influence the child to become what they are. But the child starts out right. Allah gives the child that head start. So if you would like to come to Islam, you're not going to be going to something as strange as you might think. You're actually coming back to your original starting point. And that was what Jesus endeavored to tell his followers at his time, and that's what Muhammad ﷺ taught his people at his time. That the kingdom of heaven is like that of a child. The paradise is like that. It's innocence. Something that some of us lost too long ago. We don't understand it anymore. But this is what real Islam is about, innocence. It's about humbleness, and it's about obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you understand that, that's what happens when you enter into Islam by choice. Then you have, in effect, gone back to the state you were at birth. And that's the meaning of being born again in Islam. That's what Jesus taught, John the Baptist taught it, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught that. And it wasn't that you had to go in the public and take jump in the river, which they did at that time. It's not to do a display for the people. In fact, we know that today we have bathrooms and bathtubs. You go in your own private area, and when you make your shower, bath, whatever, you do it with the intention of, this is the old me going down the drain, and the new me is coming out. And that's the experience of going through that. And that's what it's about. If you elect to become a Muslim, you're saying in effect that I want to be a person who does Islam. And Islam comes from a verb in Arabic, aslama, and it means to surrender, submit, obey, in sincerity and peace. Got all of that? 5 things. This is what Islam is about. And you can't leave one of them off and still think it's Islam. There has to be a surrender, a total and sweet surrender to the Almighty. And then, after that, is a submission to His commandments and obedience to what He has ordered us to do. A sincerity that you would do it whether anybody else is watching or not, whether you like it or not, you're going to obey because you know that's what you're supposed to do. And then finally, peace. And the peace talking about here is the peace that only will come when you do the other 4 things, because you're making peace with your Lord. That's the true meaning of Islam, more or less the English language. And whoever does it is doing Islam, and we don't call them Islam-ers, because that's the English way to treat a verb. Walk, talk, think, stink, But in Arabic, you put mu in front of the verb. Mu'adhan, mu'adhan, the one who calls the adhan. Mutakalam, kalam, the one who is the speaker. Musalli, the one who is doing salah. Muhajir, the one who is doing travel. Muhajjaba, the one who's wearing hijab. And Muslim, somebody who is doing Islam. So if you really believe there's one God, the real Almighty, and you want to do what He wants you to do, you're trying your best to do God's will on earth as it is in heaven, which is exactly how you were told to do by Jesus in the Gospels, then in essence you're saying you want to be a Muslim. My advice is the same advice that Prophet ﷺ gave when somebody asked him, tell us about the Deen, something that only you could tell us. He said, Qul amantu billah thumma astaqim, which means more or less to English, say, I believe in Allah, and then be steadfast on what you said. When you come into Islam, you take one step only one, but it's the biggest step of your whole life, and it's the first step of a journey of 1,000 steps times 1,000 steps. But that first step is to say the Shahada, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu Muhammadan abduhu wa rasul. Whoever says that with firm conviction in their heart and dies upon that, they will die as a Muslim, and the fire of hell is forbidden to them. This is Hadith Sahih, Rasul said that. Even if they have as much iman as a seed, tiny seed, then this is a good thing. So that was some good news. But also there's some other news that goes with this. Whoever comes into Islam with this saying of La ilaha illallah, it's got Arabic in here, this thing. It's got Arabic, this is small. It's in chapter 29, verse 2 and 3. حسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يأكلوا أمانة. Do the human beings think that they're going to be left alone on saying we believe that they will not be put into yuftan, which means fitna? Do the human beings think they're going to say I believe in Allah and they're not going to be put into a great calamity, a big test? Nope. Just as Allah put the people before, before into these big calamities, He's going to do the same here, and it's going to be for what reason? To show those who are being static, telling the truth, and expose those who are the kadhib, liars. Kadhiban, they are liars. So there's testing. Allah tells you in the Quran that He is going to test you in everything, from your wealth to your family. It's all going to be a big test for you. That's a promise of Allah. Other religions, they'll tell you, well, Allah, they'll do it. If you come in our religion, everything's going to be easy. You're going to get money. The Lord's going to bless you. Yeah, right. They tell you that. They'll promise you anything. Just come join. You don't believe me? Go listen to the missionaries in Africa right now trying to convert Muslims to Christianity. They will tell them anything to get them to become Christian. And listen to this. Our call is this. If you come to Islam, we can't promise you paradise. We can't promise you Jannah. We can't promise you an easy life here. We can't promise you anything except hell. We can promise you that. Screw up, you can have that. That'll work. Is that right? I'm asking you, is that what we got or not? Yeah. No, I can tell you that. But if you said, no, Yusuf, I want you to put in writing right now today that if I don't get to go to paradise, you're going to go to hell with me. No. No. So that's it, you know. And by the way, in other religions, they tell you, who is the best people? And the ones that are going to be the highest in the next life. What will they tell you? They're priests, they're bishops, preachers, huh? And the Pope, whoa! He's got his own personal deal, you know, right? According to them, even the angels got to make an appointment to come see him. But we don't have that. In fact, it's the opposite. Allah is going to start the hellfire. Allah is going to start up hellfire with Muslim scholars. Listen to that. This is Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He said Allah is going to start the hellfire with Muslim scholars who preached it but didn't live it. What do you think? Still want to be Muslim? If you do, bomb classes on Tuesday. Sorry. Sorry, I'm leaving anyway. We got 3 minutes to Isha. In fact, I'm looking at the clock. It's 2 minutes. I think we're going to do the 8 o'clock, yeah?
Yes. 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Hey, what if none of us went up there? They'd have to wait. So if somebody wants to make their shahada now, that's a good idea because you don't know if you're going to live till tomorrow. But if you can guarantee you're going to live till tomorrow, that's pretty good. If anybody wants to, it's open. You're asking. I give you the advice. My advice is what the Prophet ﷺ said. Say, I believe in Allah, then be steadfast on what He said. want to do that, you can. Okay. Question? The whole story how I came to Islam. Very easy. YUSUFESTES.com. The whole story is right there. Next question. Next question. Bible? Okay, go to 911bible.com. Next question. A co-worker was a priest before and now, okay, this one you send them to BibleIslam.com. What's the concept of Trinity and Christianity and how did, okay. This one is IslamCode.com. How do you respond to Islam and terrorism? This one is IslamNewsroom.com, and in the box type in the word terrorism. Giving dawah. Go to search for Islam, type in the word DAWA. And how old were you when you converted? That's not the right question. The question is, how old am I now? I'm 17. Sahabi used to measure their age according to when they came to Islam. I'm 17 and a half. 3/4. Still underage. It's a great time to do it. I know you don't remember all the websites, do you? Do you? No, you don't remember. So what you need is the links to Islam, right? You need the links. Tell me, I need the links to Islam. Let me use that.
You need the link to Islam.
.com. Links to Islam.com, and you'll find all of the sites that are listed there I just told you. Got it? That was easy to do the questions, wasn't it? I didn't waste my 17 years. I love all of you for Allah. May Allah accept your salam, and Allah forgive all of us and give us Jannah. Amen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.